This is this is us.
How do we know if we're in the picture?
We don't.
You'll have to sign
How do I know
maybe.
if I want to be in the
You,
picture?
you won't be
You
able to
don't
get out
have
here
a
without signing
choice.
some
Oh, okay. All right.
paperwork.
You don't have a choice. Hold on.
Maybe nobody will recognize me.
Yeah.
So, I'm incognito.
Everybody at the table has hereby waived their there. Now we're really waived their right to complain or to say that they don't want to be in the video. Just so you know, and that's looks like hold on.
I got a lot more.
No, we're good. Get him, kill him. All right. So Jim, what we did is Alex and I started this new page. It's Truth About. If you go on Facebook, it's Truth About, and we also have. I didn't bring my list of all the names that we started, but we have a YouTube page and TikTok where we dance.
Okay.
And
Good.
wear skimpy clothes.
Okay.
And no, we don't.
Oh.
No, not really. Creepy is what that would be. So what it's for is what I've always bitched about, except for the other contractors and not just in solar, but in everything else, right? It's like, well, how do you know the truth about anything, right?
Right.
So it's all kind of based on that, and how we're gonna make a living doing it is by a 10-step process on uh, vetting contractors, where they get PDFs and instructions on how to use PDF to grade their contractors, pick at least three, go more than that, print as many PDFs as you want. You're not going to buy it every time. Set them side by side, grade them, then make a choice. And also where they're going to go to find contractors, right? Where would you go to look
And this
for
is
an
for
electrical
customers.
Yeah,
Right?
it's
This is
consumer.
customer based.
Right.
All right.
Okay, so how does a contractor or a business get on better business? How do they keep their A+ rating?
Well, I'm sure that it comes down to money.
Right.
They
And
pay-
how about Angie's List?
Yeah, but I'm sure that comes to money.
And even all right,
Exactly.
so we're in the solar industry, and how does solar reviews? Is that all about money too? It's all about the contractor, how much they pay versus their placing on the review list and also referrals that they're going to send to customers. It's not really based on how good.
Right.
It's not really based on Jim Stevens. Like I said, he's not getting any royalties on it.
Darn the bad one.
He walked in, so he's on by default. But that's what we're trying to do. Is we're trying to get to the bottom of this thing. If you go online, do you think you're going to find the best contractor by going online and search for the best? What do you say? You're looking to get some plumbing done or some custom work done on your home, and you say you go online and you search who's the best ex contractor in uh, Joe Schmo, Arkansas. What's going to come up? Is the best contractor going to come up?
No, typically not.
Who's going to come up? Who's going to get the best place?
The one that's paid the most money.
Right.
Yeah.
And if the ones that have the most money and everything else like that, they're generally there because they make the most sales, because they spend the most money on advertising and they spend the most time on advertising.
And typically they've spent the most money to get good reviews on.
How does that work?
What?
Really? You mean the reviews online aren't necessarily legitimate? Are you saying that?
I'm saying it's a strong possibility that those reviews sometimes
Jim does not work for us.
are tainted. Yeah. Sometimes those reviews are by cousins and brothers and aunts and uncles, and they give them glowing reviews. And if you get enough glowing reviews, it forces out all the bad reviews that you may have
And
right. And
and on top of it, now they're starting to have aunts and uncles do bad reviews for other contractors because you don't have to be verified as a customer to go in and start.
No, to get a Gmail.
You
That's
know,
all you need to do is post a review, is to have a Gmail.
Right.
So Jim is we've never been to each other's house. We have had dinner once or twice.
we've had dinner a couple times.
And so he
But-
was a distributor for products in my contracting business. And one of the things that I've done is I've promised on the the s- the sites and the pages that are not my company not to advertise my company. Okay.
Okay.
So, however, in my company, that's how I know Jim is both going to him for a number of different companies, like the Dan and Dave uh, and Carl when Carl was another company. So I came there on behalf of a number of different companies.
We've had relationship with a couple of companies that I've worked at in the past selling solar.
Okay, he just screwed the pooch as far as.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's
Can we
okay.
have it?
No, we're gonna keep it in there. It's all right. It happened naturally. But I didn't say
electrical.
what the name of the yeah. So the distributor was an electrical distributor that had solar equipment. So out of the contractors that you knew, was there a big difference between contractors and people that you associated with buying products and stuff as far as training and education and real trade knowledge?
Oh, yes, certainly.
And what was the spread?
On a scale of 0 to 100, 5 to 98.
And so
whoa, 5. So you got
so
your
the
do it
five
yourself.
so there were only 5 really companies that didn't know what
No,
they
no,
were
I mean on the
on the knowledge
on the
scale.
knowledge on the scale of knowledge
But
from
Yeah.
0 to 100. You met contractors that you
how many
knew
how many
had no clue, and then you met contractors that were very well informed, and a lot of them that even schooled me.
and were there a lot of the high volume contractors? Were there a lot of those that didn't really know a hill of beans?
I can't say a lot.
Yeah, you can.
no, I
because-
can't. No,
oh,
I wanna
no,
say-
I
I
mean,
wanna
I want
say
you to say
that-
a lot. I don't have to mean say there were a lot.
Like I said, there's a wide range of knowledge that people possess, and some of the contractors you could tell knew what they were doing and what they wanted for their company. And then there was a lot of contractors that you wonder if they could even find them, if they knew what they should be doing when they're out there. I've seen a lot of really good work from pictures and the customer portfolios, and then I've seen some really shoddy work that I would not even accept my name being on associated.
Right. So that's
I'm not sure if that answers.
well, you did. What I'm trying to get at is for the consumer to know that just because there's something that may be familiar or highly advertised, the possibility is there that they really aren't very trade savvy.
And
Yeah.
some of the even bigger contractors have other problems that the owners, the people that are running the business may be really well informed, but they're losing sight of what's going on in the field. So there's so many tiers of people between the company owner that may know what's supposed to happen and the guy that's putting it on the roof that is making your bread and butter.
Good. So, but if you were going to if you were going to get some work done outside of the trade where you know any contractors or anything else, would you be doing an internet search or would you be going to one of the trade organizations to see who's doing well in trade.
I think I would go to the trade organization, or I would kind of see who's done some work in the past in my area and try to follow up with that person or that contractor first. Probably.
Yeah.
I'd look for work that my neighbor would recommend. If they'd recommend it and they got a good job done, they're really happy with the contractor and the process. That's probably where I would start instead of trying to look for ratings on Google reviews.
Yeah. So the internet's not necessarily. It's pretty much just advertising. That's the purpose of what we're doing. You can bring them on, put them on. On video. Is that your wife? Is that why it's so beautiful?
Mhm.
Sorry, our video is being interrupted by a are you retired, Joey?
I'll say
I'll say.
I took a
Am I
hiatus. I left my employer December 31st, and I've been focusing on Tennessee, going to visit my mom, and traveling a little bit. So I've stepped back.
Yeah, my mom passed. Do it.
My mom.
If you can, and this has nothing to do with that, but if you can, make amends with your parents, check up on your parents, because once they're gone, they're gone.
Spend any time that you can. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's time
No,
well spent.
no matter what's happened in the past, unless you're gonna get a shotgun welcome at the door. Otherwise, try and make up for a little bit of lost time. Which I'm tilting further one side to the other.
So anyway, yeah, I've spent some time away from work, and it's been productive. I was telling Carl about my building in Tennessee, and I've got 10 acres up there, so I'm going up there at least once a month and spend a week at a time or so.
I'm gonna bring the beer back.
Please, yeah,
Please?
yeah, you're welcome. I've got a beautiful place to ride.
Yeah, you got 10 acres.
Yeah,
Sure.
and I'm right outside the Cherokee National Forest.
I wish I would have known. We went up to around Nantahala a month ago, 2 months ago. Yeah, my wife, Michael, and stuff. I wouldn't have been too far
What
away.
town?
Well, actually, we were right there at it was a month ago. One of the balls was there. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been too long for my
where
brain.
the Cherahoma Skyway is?
Yeah.
It's Tennessee to North
Yeah,
Carolina.
yeah.
I'm about 5 minutes.
Well, the reason why we didn't go into Tennessee though is because a lot of the national forests don't accept dogs.
Yeah.
No dogs. That's why we stayed.
Really?
Yeah, you didn't know? Not supposed to be on any of the trails or any of the stuff.
No.
And that dog is my wife's baby, even though she's
You've been on Tell the Dragon, no, right?
yeah,
So that's
all
about
that.
that's about 40 minutes north.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm 5 minutes from Cherahoma Skyway, Tennessee.
Yeah.
So
So
let's get back to that.
yeah, so
I gotta
yeah, we got to all that. But so what we did is what we're doing is we're going to do a PDF, like I said, with 10 points, things that, and then basically a grading chart for each point, for each of the 10 points, right? 1 to 10.
Okay.
Okay, and then instruction on the side on how to use this. Like time in business, where to look for the time in business, versus what they say, and that's part of the grading. Is what do they say versus what you find out on how to investigate. The instructions show you how to investigate, and then the score is it's swayed a little bit by certain things like time in business and things like that. But if they don't tell the truth, if what they say is this and you find out this, now
Well,
it's
it's interesting. Nationally, they kind of rank contractors by the amount of business they do. but the way they find out how much business an individual contractor has done, they ask them. So the individual contractors are able to determine how much business they did last year, and then they get ranked nationally by that amount of business. So it's I think you always have to consider the information where it comes
Right. And so to go right to the source is probably the best thing, right? And how many people know how to do that? Not very many people, right?
from. Right?
And the internet, you can find those things on the internet, but not by doing search. So we were just because we started this Truth Speak and Truth About and all this other stuff, so we wanted to incorporate. I don't want this to be part of this business,
Okay.
right? I wanted this to be a separate business entity. And so we went through, I filed, I got approved on the articles of incorporation, everything else, and then I just fell victim today. I just fell victim to what happened, right? So I got a text saying your articles have been approved, and for your FEIN, your EIN number, click below, and this, that, and the other. So the assumption, wrongly, because assuming, right, is that okay? So this must come from the Department of Corporation, right? And so I clicked on it. I went through. It seemed all legitimate and everything else like that until they asked me to check out for $199. And because it's not my first rodeo starting a business. It's been 20 years, but it's not my first rodeo starting a business. And I'm like, it didn't cost me anything before. It cost me a $20 filing fee because it was all paper. Because Solar Rate's 20 years old as of last Thursday. Yeah. Oh. Little subliminal.
He's wearing a shirt.
They
But
can't see it from here.
yeah, hopefully.
I work for Perry.
We're gonna blur it out. So it turned out that with a lot of other things, there are all these AI things and also algorithms built into it. People have uh, eyes on public filings, right? And so it must have been a company who's going to charge me. It's free to get it an FEIN, an EIN number, and it's exactly the same application, maybe even easier, and except for it's free. It's not $199,
Right.
but it's a legitimate business,
If you can get
and you have to check the thing to say I agree before you lay your money down. Say you agree to have XYZ process for your. I mean, I didn't do that. As soon as I saw that, I was like, oh man. And I turned to Alex. I'm like, dude, I just almost got taken because that's what's happening on the internet.
Right.
So, what do you